So you've been LARPing for a long time. Maybe you're thinking it's time to call it quits. Time to take off that tunic, put those boots away, hang up the cloak. If that's you, this video's for you.
Flames, they whisper low.
Hey everybody, St. Godric here. Merry Christmas. So glad that you're hanging out with me today. Recently, I've gotten a few questions from some close friends of mine who have been asking about stepping away from the game that they love. I play a bunch of different LARPs, and this is just a regular part of the game, something we don't like to see, but something that happens quite often as our friends move on. Whether it's to other games or they just quit for various reasons, this is something that is inevitable in our game. And I've seen some people leave through the years and have left really well. And I've also seen some people who have left not so well. So this video, we're going to dive into how to leave well if that's something you want to do. So first up, how do you know when it's time to leave? I think this one can be the hardest part of this whole conversation. A few things that I would give you to think on. Is this game taking more from you than it is giving? Are you finding yourself not being filled and are constantly pouring out? If you're playing this game and it is causing you more stress than the joy that it's giving you, it might be time to look at doing something different. But I would encourage you to do a few things first. Number one, shift your focus in your current game. Most of the LARPs that I have played are huge. You can craft, you can fight, you can be a non-player combatist, you can do some of the leadership stuff, you can cook, you can put on the events for people. There are a lot of different facets in this game. And what I have found, and whenever I am getting close to burnout, what I do is I go and I invest myself into another area of the game. I go and do the things that just bring me joy. Because oftentimes when I take a look at myself, when I'm starting to get burnt out, when I feel like I want to take a step away, really what I've done is I have committed myself to a lot of different things that I just don't enjoy. I've said yes to too many things, to too many people, and I'm no longer doing the things that bring me joy. So I go back to those things, or I will venture into a new area. A lot of times for me in the crafting world, when I get burnt out, when I get bored, I go and I find something else. And I put 10 hours, 20 hours into that over the next month. And that really rekindles my joy for the game. So if you're thinking about quitting, I would highly suggest go find something else to try for a few months. See if that's it. Stop saying yes to everything that comes your way. Only do the things that bring you joy for 3 months, 6 months, and then reevaluate. I would suggest a 6-month break before you tell everybody that you're completely going to quit. There's no benefit in making a big statement of, I'm leaving, I'm out. Throw it up on your Discord, throw it up on your Facebook. And then when you come back in 3 months, because it wasn't as big of a deal as you thought it was, you just kind of look kind of dumb. So my recommendation is take a 6-month break before you actually quit and don't really talk about it. Don't really tell anybody about it. Just evaluate on your own. And after that 6-month break, you might find yourself wanting to go back. Or you might find yourself saying, hey, I'm ready to go do a different game, or I'm ready to go find a new hobby. Take that 6-month break to evaluate what you want to do with your life and your time and your energy, and then make your final decision. But then, if your final decision is to quit the game you're playing, I think there are a few good ways to do this. What I would recommend is try not to burn down any bridges on your way out. The exception to this is if there is something legally going on or morally going wrong, on your way out, you should report that. Send that up the chain to your game runners, to the people who are in charge of your game. You're doing a disservice to all of those people around you and future players if you leave a game and you don't report an issue that you know about. But assuming that you have done that, or that that's not the issue and you're just burnt out in another way, there's not someone driving you out, just an overall feeling of no longer enjoying the game anymore, I would recommend leaving well. And what I mean by that is keep those friendships intact. You never know, the friends that you make LARPing might be your next D&D group, or they might be your next Overwatch group. There's no reason to, if you leave the hobby, that you have to leave the people behind, unless you just absolutely want to. And if you do, that's fine. But I have found a lot of my friends who I met through LARP, who have then gone on to do other things, I still get in contact with them, play board games with them, we do New Year's together, things like that. So when you leave, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to cut off everybody. You can if you want, but I don't think, at least for me, that wouldn't be the way that I would want to go about doing it. And the last thing I have to say on this is if you are going to leave a game, there is no need, in my opinion, to go on and make super long, hateful posts on Facebook, on Discord. That just kind of makes you look silly. Every time I've seen someone come up and say, well, I'm out of here, and they post their big, long manifesto. Have you ever seen this meme here? That's exactly what I think of. I just don't think that that's needed. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it fixes anything. It might feel good in the moment for you, but if you ever come back, then you're going to look silly. You might be burning relationships with people. I just don't think that leaving in that manner is going to be the best thing that you can do. So to wrap this up, if you're thinking about quitting, if you think it's time to move on from your LARP, go first and find something else in your LARP, another aspect, give that a shot and see if you're just burnt out from what you're currently doing and not necessarily from the game as a whole. Number 2, if you're going to quit, take a 6-month break first. Evaluate after that. Don't tell anybody you're quitting. Just do that 6-month break and then see where you're at. And then if you do end up leaving, leave well. There's no need to burn relationships. There's no need to burn the house down. Ultimately, I don't think that that's a good look for most people. So that's all I got for you today. I hope that this video was helpful and instructional for you. If you've ever left a game and you have comments for people, how to navigate that fairly large change in people's lives, comment those down below. I know a lot of people would really appreciate those. And if you have any ideas for further videos of similar topics like this, feel free, let me know. Always interested in hearing what my audience wants to see. Until next time, I'm St. Godric. Peace.
Things they whisper low.